Hi, I'm Liv, and today, this video, we're going to be reading some of my TBR, just mood reading, because I'm really sick. I finished an audiobook literally yesterday. So the book I read was, Think Again by Jacqueline Wilson, which was a new adult book that she's done, like a spin-off from the Girls series, and I gave it a 3.5. It was good, but end was like massively rushed and wasn't like a fully realised ending. It was just like crazy rushed. So I've got loads of books up here. I'm not sure what to pick. I'm stuck between a couple. I've got Five Broken Blades in mind, or Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Then If We Were Villains, The Nightingale, of Lies, The Ex-Hex, The Last Housemaid, which is a cult book. I'm very excited for that. So this is The Last Housemaid by Ashley Winstead. It's this cover, it's like a waxy cover as well, which I really love. And it's quite a lengthy book, it looks like. Oh, it's not actually, the writing's just quite big. It's about 400 pages, not too bad. And this one is about like a cult, and they managed to escape this like very strange cult, and years later her friend who escaped with her ends up dying, and she was murdered by somebody, and she has a feeling that it's the cult that they managed to escape from, and she's out to get revenge. Instantly, I've just opened the book, and these are our content warnings, so if you think you could be triggered by these things, don't read this book. I'm gonna go slowly into this book because this stuff is very triggering, and we're gonna see if I'm feeling it or not. If not, completely okay. It's not a bad thing, you know. If you try a book and you're like, no, I can't do it with these topics, it's too much, never feel like you have to finish a book or have to continue a book because everyone else enjoys it because you bought it. Don't ever feel like that. Always feel like if the book is not right for you, that's fine. Okay, we have been reading for a good chunk. So I've just been reading tonight. It's the same day for once, and I'm at page 132. It is so good. We're at chapter 12. I was right, it is definitely a cult book, and we're seeing how young girls who are my age, which is so freaky, are so easily perceptible to cults and so easily drawn in by them, and not even realize that it is a cult. Like, I'm only just starting to realize it, and I'm 130 pages in. Like, it is crazy, and we're seeing like the start of it and the process of how these girls were really taken and like in this whirlwind of this world. It's crazy, but it's so real because it happens to people every day. Like, it literally happens all the time. There are definitely triggering topics in here, but personally I don't think it's as bad as I was expecting it to be. Like, definitely not like R-rated or anything. I definitely say it is like a older book, maybe like an adult book, probably, most definitely, but it's not like crazy like triggering or anything. So I just want to let you know, as much as the trigger warnings are there, personally I'm not seeing like detailed accounts of this stuff, so I wouldn't be too worried, and I of course will keep you posted if there are any, because I wouldn't want someone to read that and then be upset about it, even though I've said, oh, it's not that bad. So if it does change, I will let you know. The story is so gripping right now. We're following these two characters, Jamie and our main character Shay, and Jamie is a reporter and Shay is the friend of these two girls who have died over the years, and their deaths are way too similar for it to be a coincidence, and we're trying to trace our steps backwards. And Shay has clearly got a lot of trauma from her years in college and university, and she clearly has blocked away a lot of her memories, and they are behind doors which are slowly being unlocked by things that are triggering her memory. It has been 2 days. I'm not at uni, I'm so sick. I'm literally at my flat, which is a tip that you can't even see. There's just crap everywhere. I finished The Last Housewife, so I'm gonna update you on this book real quick, then update you on what I'm reading next and what I've started. Then I'm gonna get dressed. No. I'm gonna do my hair and makeup. I'm kind of feeling like the Sabrina Carpenter sort of vibes today. I want curly hair, blush, like a pink blush and everything. And I just want to feel better. I feel like when I do my hair and my makeup, I feel so much better, and I've had 2 days of uni so far. One of them, I didn't get out of bed. I honestly just slept all day, like literally from morning till night, because I was up all night the night before because I just couldn't get to sleep. I was in so much pain. Back to the book. So the book The Last Housewife. This one is written by Ashley Winstead. It says a novel. I would say that I'd categorize this as probably a thriller. Definitely an amazing book, and I was very impressed by Ashley Winstead's writing once again. Just like last time, it felt as amazing. This book is about just under 400 pages, and I ended up giving this book a 4.5. I really love this book. It was really good. So this book, we follow our main character, who is called Shay, and Shay has been through things that we don't know about yet in the start, and her friend from high school, or is it college? I think it's college, dies. It's strange to her because she had two friends. One of them died while she was in college and the other one died recently, and it's like, wait, what? And she has something about it feels weird. Like, the police don't think it's a murder. They're very set on the fact they think it's a suicide, and they're just like, yeah, we're just ruling it out, doesn't matter. And she doesn't trust the police because of reasons we find out in the book. Say it's probably quite dark for people. For me, it wasn't like traumatizing to read or anything. There are definitely trigger warnings, so read through them. I'd say the ones that are most prominent in this book I will read out real quick now. There's talk of suicide. There is a scene of suicide. Nothing in detail. There is SA mentioned quite a lot and seen throughout, but it's not traumatizing and aggressive and, like, you know, triggering to read. It's in a cult way, so people in cults having sexual experiences which obviously can't be consented to because they are being brainwashed by people. That's how that works. I just feel like I want to give it all context because, like, when I first saw all this, I did think, wait, this is going to be intense. I just want to reassure you that it's not as intense as it sounds. There is also physical violence, which is quite a bit, but again, it is to do with the cults and punishment for things. There is also talk of trauma a lot. There is talk of misogyny, which is like a big thing in this book. Gender essentialism, which I didn't know what that was at first. Look it up, it'll make a lot more sense. It's like this idea that, like, women are made for one thing and men are made for one thing. Drug use is included heavily. There is SH in this book as well. It was a very good book though. So this book is about, as I said, this girl, and we go into the world of cults and the world of dark secrets that are kept from the average person, and the idea that if you have enough money you can get away with anything. About Shay trying to find out about this cult that exists, seeing if it's linked to her friend's death, and trying to figure out if what she went through as a kid when she was manipulated and indoctrinated into this manipulative relationship with somebody. She's trying to figure out if that's anything to do with this cult. I think there's some tour going on and someone's got a megaphone and they're talking really loud. Please go away from my building. Yeah, as I said, you do watch our main character get, like, indoctrinated and, like, basically get manipulated into this cult lifestyle and being fully controlled, and that is quite harrowing. We get a lot of interviews with our second main character, the male main character. He is a podcast person, and he interviews Shay quite a bit to find out her experiences of what she went through in life, because multiple times she says, like, I know what it's like for this to happen, and he wants to know what happened to her. And they used to be best friends, and he doesn't know what happened to his best friend, like, in the past. What happened between them being best friends and them completely distancing themselves from each other. Really good book, we highly recommend. It's my first ever book I've read on, like, cults, and I would say I was very impressed, and I read this within 2 days. So nervous to read this book in case it wasn't going to hit as well as In My Dream to Hold a Knife, but it was so good. 4.5 star, highly recommend. I next moved on to If We Were Villains, and this one is by oh my god, I can't read. This one is by M.L. Rio. Is a dark academia book, I'd say. So we've got our main character, Oliver. Oliver is kind of the person of interest in this book, Kristen you follow. So Oliver served 10 years for a murder that he may or may not have committed, and on the day of his release he ends up talking to the detective who is the person who actually put him into prison, and the detective is retiring and he just wants to know the truth. Did he kill this person or not? Find out that one of the 7 friends is found dead, and the rest of them face their greatest acting challenge of convincing the police and themselves that they are blameless. And I've just got to page 45 in this book. It's good so far. So it's a little bit confusing at times because they do talk in Shakespearean words, but other than that it is really good. So we've met all the friends and they've just been casted in this play in acting school. I'm in theatre school, so it's just really interesting to read. And we've not got to the point where like anything crazy has happened yet. No deaths have happened, so I am waiting for that to happen, but so far I am interested. Again, as I said, when they do talk in Shakespeare terms, you do feel like you get a bit lost sometimes because they do talk for a while in like Shakespeare language, because that's just like their banter they have. I'm gonna go sit and read this in a bit. As I said, I'm gonna get dressed and everything, tidy up the room. I've just renewed my Spotify so I can listen to an audiobook possibly. The makeup is done. It has taken me a straight up hour to do my hair and makeup, and I was right, I do feel a lot better right now. I feel very much like back in my old self. My voice is still terrible and I'm still choking on air. My asthma is terrible right now. I feel better than I did this morning, and I do feel better than I did before I filmed this clip. I started Mark Ferris's October vlogs, and he just put up his first one yesterday, I think, or today, I can't remember. Watched a bit of Chloe Lukasiak from Dance Moms. Oh my god, I feel so much better. Like, not actually physically better, but I feel so much like myself again. I have to put you here because there's nowhere else to bloody put you, but because I'm so flipping short, I mean, look, this is the door. I don't even like come up past more than halfway. My curls. I really need to get on with reading these books, because so far this video I've only read 2, one of which I read before the video even started, and it was that Think Again by Jacqueline Wilson. So I do need to get on with reading something. I just don't know if it's this book that's really like slumping me out or something. I don't know if I should try Her Majesty's Royal Coven. This is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. This one is written by Gina Dawson. Hidden among us is a secret coven of witches. Protect the crown and country from magical forces and otherworldly evil. So it's a bit like a fantasy, fun read. The greatest enemy will come from within. The whisperings of a prophecy that will bring the coven to its knees, and 4 best friends are about to be caught at the centre. Life as a modern witch was never simple, but now it's about to get apocalyptic. They got a map of England and it says places of supernormal interest. I feel like I'm gonna try this because I feel like I've already read like a Dark Academia like serious book recently, and I also have just read The Last Housewife, which was actually really dark as well. I feel like something a bit more humorous would be fun to read, so I'm debating like reading this one. I think I'm going to try. And then it starts, it's got a little crown on the top of the first chapter, which is really cute. I'm going to read this for a little bit, see how I'm feeling. It is quite a bit later. It is, what time is it? It's 8:45, and I watched a bit more of Chloe. I actually just fell asleep for ages and napped, then went to Lidl for a little bit, and I'm actually a good little chunk into this book. I'm at 46 pages in. I'm really liking it. So far we've got a few characters we're following. So we've got Neve, who is all these people are witches, by the way, and it's all set in the modern day. It's like a modern day modern day fantasy, not very high fantasy, which I'm really loving because I don't want anything too complicated, but it's also not too basic, so it's very different to everything I've ever read before, to be honest. So there's something that's happening, something bad. I know that so far, and one of our main characters, Helena, is terrified, and she's not someone who wrestled. Like, these people have been through a war and everything, which I didn't like. That's really like, oh my god, to process, because like the fact that these people have all been through a war with witches and warlocks and everything. Neve, who we follow, who used to be in the coven and she left, and she's been asked back. You've got Leonie, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. We've got Helena, that's it. That's all 3 of the characters that we've been following so far. So far we've had Neve's perspective, so she is currently somebody who looks after animals. She still does magic, she still is a witch of course, but she's not in the covens or anything, she left. We've then got Helena, as I said, and she is very powerful, and She is very serious. And then we've also got Leonie, who is in the other coven. So I don't know too much about her. I know she's got a girlfriend, and that's about everything I know. We've not seen much about powers. We've seen that they can teleport, which is actually really interesting. We've also seen that some of them can read each other's minds. We've heard a lot about the idea of like a bit of the politics in this book has been explained. So we've kind of found out more about like what some witches think about the idea of witches and mortals being together. So people without powers or anything or magical gifts say that magic can be passed down between people that end up having offspring with humans. I thought it's really good and I'm really enjoying it. It is a little bit confusing at times because like you're trying to get into this new world and everything, and I think it has been done in a really good way. This like so far I feel like I'm really getting it. I'm liking that. I am enjoying it. I'm happy that I changed books because I'm eating this up. It's really nice to read. I'm definitely invested. I have just fake tan, so we've got a weird colour going on, a bit green right now. That's okay because it's meant to look like that. I am still sick, as you can hear, but I'm now home. I feel so much better being at home. I've been reading a chunk. We are at page 118 and I'm liking it. I will say the banter is very British. We have certain things said at times that make me giggle because it's definitely things that I would have said in high school. There's some younger characters in this book, like daughters of people who do talk in slang that I would have spoken like in high school or secondary school. I will say there was one moment I cringed a little bit at the dialogue, and that was when there was a younger person that it looks crazy right now. There was a younger person who one of the witches was trying to explain witchcraft to, explain that exists, and she was like, "You're having me on." But the way she said it, like, in a way I cringed a little bit, but I don't think I would have not cringed at it because like anybody would have reacted like completely shocked and baffled by this idea. So I don't think there would have been a reaction that wouldn't have cringed me out, to be honest. There are times where I feel like I really get the story. Like right now, I feel like I'm really getting it. I mean, we've got this idea that this is prophecy that everyone is scared is going to happen. There are so many characters, which I think is why I'm getting so confused at points, because I'm like, wait, who is this character? And there are a lot of point of views as well. But right now, as I said, there's a prophecy that everyone's really nervous about. We've had a bit more politics explained to us and a bit of context to the covens and everything, which I like. I need, because otherwise I'm going to be completely lost. And I do feel really lost, and I do feel a bit like, where is this going? So at times I do feel a bit thick. And it does feel like the story does run away from me a little bit. I don't know if that's the writing or if it's just me or whatever, but I feel like at times the explanations come a bit short. Things will happen, the story will run away, and then they'll explain it afterwards. So there's like a minute of confusion, or like a solid 5 minutes, and I do find myself a bit confused. I want to put the book down because I feel completely lost, and then if I persevere then I understand it more. I wish it wasn't like that. At times I wish I really just got the story. I haven't read much more. I'm at page 143 and I've had more cringy moments. There's just, I think it's the way in which things are written, like the bantery like tone, and like there are serious moments when they're talking about like being from like oppressed communities and things, and then the way in which everyone's like agreeing with people is kind of like hurrah, and it comes across a bit comical, and I don't, it's not really hitting as well as it would if it wasn't as comedic at times. But I definitely think that's because of the writing and the language used. Very weird. I don't know how to explain it without ruining any parts of the book. Obviously it's about witchcraft and nature and everything. There was a scene where one of the witches is becoming more familiar with nature and stuff, but it goes a bit weird and it takes a very strange turn, and I think I'm going to put the book down for the night because it's a bit weird. Next day, and I have been reading an audiobook. So I've actually started The Song of Achilles. Bit random, but one of my friends, she loved it. Like, she's obsessed with this book, so I wanted to give it a go, and I found it, and I also found a physical copy of it, so I am reading both
kind of at the same time, and so far I'm enjoying it. I'm at chapter 14, quite a good chunk into this book, and I'm liking it. I think at first I was struggling to get into it and I was struggling to follow along because there's a lot of names that were very different to anything I'd ever heard before, and now I'm into it. I'm really enjoying it and I feel like I'm so invested in these characters, and I feel like it's genuinely gonna rip my heart to shreds. I'm nervous.
It is the next day and I'm so far into this book and I'm loving it, but I just had a good cry. Like, oh my god, my face, I thought I was doing well with everything, and then my face just broke. I'm really enjoying this book. This book is the Song of Achilles, by the way, if I hadn't mentioned it. I mentioned it in a different clip, but I didn't mention it in this one. But I'm at chapter 30 and there are 33 chapters, and I'm listening to the audiobook right now. I'm so close to the ending. I'm gonna finish it today. I think I'm gonna keep listening to it until I finish it now, because I'm in the mood to listen to this book. And listen to it whilst I'm getting ready. Potentially stop crying because that's, you know, I'm a bit of a mess. It's really heartbreaking, and the thing is, I knew it's going to be heartbreaking because my friend loves mythology and like Greek stories and things, so she had read it because she loves that stuff, and she said it broke her, and for some reason I didn't think it would break me, and as soon as it was halfway I was like, I have a feeling that this book might break me, and now I'm at the point where it is breaking me. And I wasn't familiar with the story of Achilles or anything, so like this whole book is a shock to me. So like, I couldn't have even guessed the ending or anything. I had a feeling it's going to be like a heart-wrenching story based on her reaction, but a mess. I just finished the book and that was so beautiful. Like, I can't put into words how beautiful that book was, and even by the end of it I was listening to it and reading it at the same time, and I just welled up and I was so happy. It is such a beautiful book, and thank you so much, Tilly, for recommending I read this book, because I am so happy I did. So happy, but like also so like it's so bittersweet, and I'm very emotional right now. It was a really good book, basically. And I don't know what I'd rate it. I feel like I don't want to give it a 5-star because I didn't get that 5-star feeling. But I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I really enjoyed it, and it was a 4 throughout most of the book, and then by the end I was like, no, it's a 4.5. It was so good. I'm really happy I did read another book instead of Her Majesty's Royal Coven. I'm going to go back to that now and read some of that today. I'm really glad that I did something different though instead of carrying on with that. I'm glad that I had a little break. So without ruining too much, the Song of Achilles is about Achilles, and it is all like Greek mythology and gods and Roman times, and it is set in Greece. So it's about the fall of Troy and Helen, and the capture of Helen causing the war, and this, that and the other. So if you know about that, then you'll know what I'm on about. So in this story we follow these two characters, and it is a gay love story, and it's male love story, so male and male, and it is so beautiful. And I would say a lot of the writing is so poetic, and that was like my main thing that I loved about it, was how poetic the writing was. I thought the romance was written brilliantly. The spice scenes I'd say were more like love scenes. Whenever we had some like a spicy scene, it was always done in such a romantic, loving, heartfelt way, and I really appreciated that because it really felt like it worked for this book, and it really felt as though it was the right style to have written these scenes. I enjoyed the ages that we got. By this I mean we started off with our two main characters being really young, they're like 9, and we got up to them being like 27. I liked that. I liked seeing the growth from these characters. The audiobook was really good. I thought it was written very well as well. The whole book as a general was written very well, and the audiobook was narrated very well. For some reason I felt like one of the characters, the reader for that character, the narrator, to me the voice actor kind of sounded like Sean Bean from Game of Thrones, like, if you know who I mean. that is literally the accent. He was northern and he sounded exactly like Sean Bean. So yeah, that was, I actually really appreciated that, because in a way I was like, oh my god, this is like giving it more like realism. I feel like it feels like I'm watching a show right now because of his voice. Yeah, so we follow these two characters and we watch Achilles as he is trained to fulfill his prophecy. And Achilles, his prophecy is that he is going to be the best fighter that the world's ever seen, kind of thing. I can't remember his name, and I'm rubbish at pronouncing names, so that's why I keep saying he when referencing to our main character. So our main character kind of becomes his friend in a way, and also seen as the person that he would share his bedchamber with, so they would share a room together, and they became very close over the years, and it was a really good story, really great pacing. I found myself shocked so much throughout this book. I thought it was written very well, and I really did enjoy it. I want to say guys, this is the end of the video, and I know we only read 3 books really, but I was trying to get back into loving reading and everything, and I also did try and get into Her Majesty's Royal Coven, and I am about, I don't actually know where I am in that book, but it got a bit weird, so I just had a little break from it, but I will pick it up later and I will update you at some point about that book. But I'll see you guys soon with another video. I want to thank you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I am so thankful, thank you so much, and I'm so happy about that. So yes, I will see you guys soon with another video. Subscribe, like, and do all that stuff, and I'll see you guys soon. This video is going up on a Thursday, I think. So I'll see you guys on Sunday with another video. If not, it'll be on a Thursday, because I upload every Thursday and Sunday. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye!